Hi guys, this is Gaming with Alston, and today we are on episode 142 of Pyramid City. What I'm gonna do today, this episode, is, continue working on building more classrooms. with the school will be 4 buildings actually. One of the words that must not come out of a doctor's mouth to a parent, like to prevent the parent from crying, is that some diseases out there are death sentences. They're still death sentences to this day. One reason your brain's not responding to leptin properly is genetics. It's a hormone that makes you feel full. What can cause an insatiable appetite? Your body not being able to produce any leptin at all, or your body not responding to it properly. And insulin resistance can fuel leptin resistance. Basically perpetuates the cycle of leptin resistance. Excuse me. Your body produces ghrelin as a response to low blood sugar. Your body actually does that in response to hypoglycemia. Ghrelin is the hunger hormone. Leptin plays pretty important roles. Regulating your appetite, if your body responds properly to it. What medical conditions can prevent your brain from hypothalamus from responding to leptin? Prader-Willi syndrome is one of those. Prader-Willi syndrome is one of those. If a diagnosis is made early enough, intervention can be taken early enough. Early. The earlier it's diagnosed, the easier it is to prevent the insatiable appetite. Prader-Willi syndrome is something you're born with. It's not something that develops. It is something you're born with. Kind of like with all genetic defects. Prader-Willi syndrome was actually featured in an episode of Mystery Diagnosis called The Boy Who Couldn't Stop Eating. It talks about what Connor Hayback had to go through. The stuff his parents had to deal with. What they had to do once he was diagnosed with it. Like, the Hayback couple knew something was wrong with Connor Hayback right as he was born. Like, one obvious sign of Prader-Willi syndrome is poor muscle tone. There's an even rarer disorder. That is like Prader-Willi syndrome, but it also affects the autonomic nervous system. It's called ROHAD. Only 100 cases have been known. There's only been about 100 known cases in the world. Sometimes the hypoventilation can come before the obesity, sometimes after. In ROHAD, it's very rare. Only 100 cases have been known so far. Not only patients end up gaining a lot of weight very quickly, But sometimes their body forgets to make them breathe. Their brain forgets to make them breathe. But their brain forgets to tell you to breathe involuntarily. The hypothalamic dysfunction is what leads to the obesity part of the O part of ROHAD, which is the obesity. ROHAD is very rare. About as rare as fatal insomnia. 100 cases have been known. And 40 of those cases are known to have a tumor involved near the hypothalamus. Which is why it's sometimes called ROHADnet. And it starts with the breakdown of the autonomic nervous system, which then leads to the rapid weight gain. And it's one of some of the medical conditions that can lead to obesity. No one knows what really causes the ROHAD. There's not much research into it, as it's very rare. As it's extremely rare. Like, only 100 cases have been known. Only 100 cases of ROHAD have been known to mankind. Often people with ROHAD have absolutely no control of their weight whatsoever. Unless there is strict monitoring. And when talking about obesity, there is a restaurant in Nevada that does free service to those who weigh over 350 pounds. I'm not planning on going there as none of the stuff is vegan except the Mexican Coke. But Brian Shaw might be able to do that, because he is obviously over 350 pounds. Because he's a strong man. It'd be pretty bad if you were forever hungry. Because you could literally eat yourself to death. Left to their own devices, Prader-Willi patients could literally eat themselves to death. Before modern medicine, heart attacks would have been a death sentence. Thankfully, we have treatments for heart disease. Down syndrome can end up causing... Like, most patients with Down syndrome have heart defects related to that extra copy of chromosome 21. Most patients with Prader-Willi syndrome start in the neonatal intensive care unit, the NICU. The NICU. The neonatal intensive care unit. Because of poor muscle tone. The hypotonia is caused by a lack of growth hormone as a result of the defective hypothalamus. It occurs in 1 out of 15,000 births. Whilst 1 in 1,000 people have Down syndrome. The amount of cases, which means the amount of reported cases of Down syndrome, is about 7.5 million. Those with Prader-Willi syndrome, left to their own devices, they could literally eat themselves until their stomach rupture. Eat themselves to death. That's how cruel the disorder is. It's sad that left undiagnosed, people with PWS could literally die very young from a ruptured stomach, or they could end up choking on their food. They wouldn't even know that their stomach is ruptured. The only way they would know is if they're dead. That is how bad their insatiable appetite is. Even if their body produces leptin, their brain probably won't respond to it very well. About 7.5 million cases of Down syndrome have been documented. Only about 7.5 million cases of Down syndrome have been documented. 7.5 million. Not billion. Million. 7.5 million cases of Down syndrome have been documented around the world. It is something people are born with. It's not something they can prevent. Like 7.5 times 10 to the power of 6. That's the number I'm talking about. As always, thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to leave a like if you like this video, dislike if you disliked it, subscribe for more. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook for more content like this. As always, thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more. This is Gaming with Austin signing off. See you on the next video. Bye.